now I think is a good time to rewind back to 2013.
Yeah.
And let's talk about like what we talked about back in 2013.
We mapped out what we thought would be our ideal media business.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the specifics, but I know
what did it end with? I know you know that part.
Well, we know that part collectively, and we hate those guys now. It was buying the San Diego Chargers football team.
There was no influence from Gary Vaynerchuk in
None
that
at
idea.
all. Yeah, with him and the Jets, we're like, you know what? I like that North Star. I think we were even calling it that.
Yeah, the North Star.
Yeah, like
to buy the Chargers.
We're gonna buy the San Diego Chargers because we grew up watching them and we love them, and all of our, there's a lot of childhood heroes and stuff. And then they moved to L.A.
Yeah.
Dean Spanos, looking at you.
If you're watching this, you're not welcome on our show.
Get out of here.
You can't even listen. Turn it off.
We don't want you here.
Dean
or your people.
Spanos, jerk.
So, L.A. Chargers, we're not fans.
No.
That means that we don't have a North Star to buy a sports team anymore.
Yeah,
maybe we'll find another one, but that's not the point, though.
Sorry, Jamar. We saw your Chargers license plate.
Hey, you know what, Jamar? Props to you. I don't care. That's cool. Good for you. I would probably be a fan too, but there's history.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that ever since that was 2013. That's when we officially opened Evergreen Profits, our company.
2013, yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
Got the name. We bought the domain for a couple K or whatever it was at the time, and that was like a crap ton of money for us. We're like, this is a cool name though.
Yeah.
Gonna go big media company, massive.
Yep.
That got derailed a little bit because we needed some cash.
Yeah.
And we didn't quite know what a media brand was.
A little bit. It's gotten derailed like once a year ever since.
And I think a lot of that goes back to up here, the
Yep.
mental state, and not knowing our true value or worth or abilities, and knowing the people around us to support us and the network and all of that stuff, which now is greater than it ever was than back then. But yeah, 2013, we definitely had the mindset of like, hey, if we do all this stuff, I could see that growing up pretty big, leveraging platforms to growing, not just us trying to run traffic to everything and do it ourselves. Like, I don't think we're in the do-it-ourselves camp like ever. We've always like, we got to leverage.
Yeah.
We just don't know how. We didn't know how to put the pieces together back then.
Yeah. So like when we were sort of mapping this out on the board in 2013, it was the media brand, and it was like grow it big enough where we can afford to buy the Chargers, right? Like that was kind of the big picture. But like the thing that we were specifically talking about too was like, let's build like content brands, like video content, podcast content. Let's build like blog content, email newsletter content. Let's build all these sort of like content silos on various different media channels. I don't know how you want to call them, but let's build up all of this content to a point where the content is so influential that if we talk about a book, that book sells out on Amazon.
It was the Tim Ferriss effect.
We were calling it the Tim Ferriss effect.
Yeah.
And it was like when somebody came on the Tim Ferriss podcast and talked about their brand of mushroom coffee, that mushroom coffee was sold out on Amazon the next day. That was like the sort of early vision, is like build up all this content to a point where that we can talk about a product and that product just crushes, and like it's that influential that people would come to us and basically beg to talk about their products because of the, let's call it the hustle and flowchart effect now. But let's, because of the hustle and flowchart Evergreen Profits effect, we can sell out products, and then we would be in demand. We'd get bigger creators to join us. We would get bigger and bigger name guests to join us because they want to be a part of that. We would get bigger brand deals because brand deals would see the reach that we have. And this was literally what we mapped out. I probably even still have a screenshot of the whiteboard where we mapped this out. If I can find it,
it's in your Evernote, man.
We will overlay it.
It's got to be in your Evernote.
Yeah, I've been hardcore about Evernote for a decade plus, so it should be in there.
So I think like the big sticking point for us, and this is where I want to speak to you listening, is you probably have some sticking point or something that has always brought you back to like what feels safe, like, and it could be just a safety for mental, or it could just be like, I need the cash, I don't know any other way, or a quick hit of the cash, and then it turns into a new business, and you're like, oh wait, that was 5 years of my life. I didn't plan on starting an agency. Why did I start an agency? We did that. That was literally what Evergreen Profits became, is like the media thing. We're like, cool, that's a great plan. We have some clients over here that want us to do this stuff, and we're going to do that stuff. We're going to start. I think in that era, we actually had like 2 different podcasts podcasts, right? Or at least one.
We had the Online Income Podcast,
Yeah.
and then we also did Evergreen Wisdom for a while.
I think the Wisdom show was right around then.
Yeah, and that was the one that had a little bit of a lifespan.
Like 14 episodes. or
Online
something.
Income Podcast, I think we recorded like 2.
Yeah. And that was the very first one.
That was 2010.
2010, yeah. So that was before we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And let's be honest, 2013 didn't know what the hell we were doing.
No.
Do we know what we're doing right now?
No.
Damn right.
We know where we're going. We just don't know how to get there yet.
Exactly. But back then with that map that you're explaining, I heard you, and this was our thinking back then, is like we got to build everything.
Yeah.
You and me.
Yeah.
Everything.
We were like,
Every
let's
piece of
break
the
this out. You build this page, I'll build this page. You write that copy, I'll write these emails. You run those ads. And that was just like...
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
No.
So that's a big level thing, or a way of thinking that shifted. Is we're the content machines, we're the brand, like evangelists primarily, but we have systems, teams, and cool people all around us supporting us.
Yeah.
And for growth, like there's platforms now. We're thinking of all these different ways to leverage and monetize that aren't controlled by us.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So
we just got to stop getting sucked in by the allure of selling courses.
we all do. Well, back to the point of like just thinking about like think of where you're at right now, the listener.
Yeah.
and like maybe is there a vision that you have right now that or maybe have you had like 5-10 years ago that you're like, oh wow, yeah, I really wish I pursued that thing. Well, maybe your business right now has the things in it, the mechanisms, or you have the network and all these things to support you. That's what, like in this episode, we just wanted to give you a little insight of our doings, like what we're going to be planning on doing, but also like think about how you can do it yourself. Because I think all of us can kind of think in this new way where you're leveraging platforms and media, even if you don't see yourself as a media brand.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like a chiropractor, like someone's going to have a chiropractor, like an awesome podcast, a YouTube video. Actually, I subscribe to a cool chiropractor on YouTube. It's like, he just cracks, like, it's like, like, it's like crazy. Kind of scares me. But like, someone's going to do all this stuff. It doesn't mean like you need to just market to get clients. Like, that's cool. That engine can continue, but why not leverage other types of media and thinking to bring more awareness to yourself, to your brand? And maybe there's other ways to generate income that's not just doing the work, services.